and welcome to this tutorial from worksforweb.com. Today we'll be continuing on with our initial configuration of your iAuto website. So at first we're going to be focusing on how to integrate more aspects of social media, specifically Facebook and Twitter functions. And then we'll talk about how to work on translating content and working with users from other countries. So first, let's talk about logging into iAuto. So you've probably seen on a lot of websites where you can use a Gmail logon or a Facebook logon or a Twitter logon to your website so that users can maintain all of their accounts with one user ID. So iAuto will let you log in with any open ID, which would include Gmail and several other sites, or you can use Facebook or Twitter, which both use a slightly different authentication system called OAuth. So in order to enable these, you're going to need to go to the apps themselves. So real quick, let's talk about how to get authentication set up for both Facebook and Twitter. For Facebook, you're going to come to this link here in the iAuto user manual, which will take you to this website. So go ahead and click the login here, say get started, login for the web, and you can read through all of the instructions here, and it'll tell you exactly how to get that set up. For Twitter, follow this link here from the iAuto user manual. You'll need to sign in with your account, and then you'll need to just enter in all of the information for your website and everything here, and then say create your Twitter application and follow the directions. So now that you've got this set up, you'll see this test OAuth up here in the corner, so you can go ahead and try that out. Next, let's talk about how to get your recent postings to also appear on your Facebook and Twitter accounts automatically. So to do that, you'll come to System Configuration, and then System Settings. And down here at the very bottom of this list, you'll see Social Networks. So here you need to log in and enable both your Twitter repost and your Facebook repost. And up here for your site, you can display what your Twitter username will look like, and you can update your cache lifetime. So once you enable both of these features, you should be good to go. Now let's talk about further configuring the Recent Tweets module on your Works for Web website. As you can see here, we have an example of what that module would look like. In the previous task, we saw that where you can update your screen name and change your cache lifetime, but you can also completely modify the look of this, such as the background color, the font, and even these photos of the Twitter birds. So to do that, you'll need to edit the CSS file itself, the location of which is described in the iAuto user manual under Features and Recent Tweets. Next, let's talk about how to edit which YouTube video will display on the front of your iAuto website. To easily change this, you'll need to modify the template homepage main content.tpl. You can find where that would be located under page templates here. But if you scroll a little bit down in the code here, you'll see this module name for YouTube. And if you scroll over a little bit, you'll find this video ID. So you'll want to replace this number with the ID of the YouTube video you'd like to display and update that, and you should be good to go. Now let's move away from social media settings and talk about how to add languages and make your website better accessible to viewers from around the world. So first, let's talk about how to add a new language that users can view. You'll want to come down here to Language Management, Manage Languages, then click on this Add a New Language. First, you'll want to set up the two-letter language ID, like EN for English, FR for French. To view the full list of these, you can click this right here, and then go ahead and decide which theme you'd like and other settings, and then you'll hit Add. If you'd like it to be the default language, you'll need to click this Active checkbox right here. Also, as a warning, to add a new language, you should only use this method, because if you manually copy and rename language files, something could go wrong with the system operation and you could mess up your entire site. So it's best if you stick to this method alone. But what if you were not happy with the default translation or you wanted to make some changes to it? There are two ways to go about this in iAuto. The first is coming in through the admin panel under Manage Phrases. You're going to want to select which part of the website you're working with. So let's say Make Model, and then you'll want to choose the language that you'd like to view in. Alright, here it'll come up with this list of all of the phrase IDs and what they are in English. Let's say I wanted to change the way the Aston Martin name displayed. I could click Edit and change how they would appear in any of my languages. So I could add in a Russian, or change my English, or any other languages that I have installed will display down here. The other way you can do this is by using the front end itself. You'll want to come into System Configuration, System Settings, and then under the Language and Regional Settings, you'll want to mark phrases that are not translated to highlight and hit Save. And then, once you save that, when you view your front end, all of the phrases that are not translated will get a red T next to them. And you can click on that and it'll automatically pop up a box asking you to translate it. So in this way, it's much easier to locate different phrases that are not translated yet and manually update them. Okay, next let's talk about translating static content. So these would be the areas of the site that you wrote yourself, such as the About Us section. You can get more information on this in the How-Tos and Troubleshooting under How to Translate Static Content, but what you'll want to do is you'll have to create several different versions of the About Us page and name them for their relevant language. So you'll need About EN or About ZH for Chinese, and so on and so forth. So you'll want to then make a copy of the default.tpl file and name that about.tpl, and then you'll replace with this line of code right here that will grab the proper About Us page and put it for the current language that the user has set. Alright, next let's talk about how to change your currency for both listing and transactions. You'll come under System Configuration and Custom Settings, and then here you've got the values for both listing and transaction currency. If you'd like to change it from the default dollars, just hit Edit, and you'll put in the number right there that's your default currency symbol, such as the euro or the yen, and then you'll hit Save, and then you're all good. Alright, so last, let's talk about how to set up the currency converter for your website. These settings can be found under System Configuration, System Settings. It'll have its own little divider here called Currency Converter. So first thing, you're going to want to get the API code for this. This is provided from openexchangerates.org, and the service is provided for free so long as there are only 1,000 inquiries for this a month from your site. So you'll want to hit Get Your App ID and follow the instructions. And once you've got that API code, you'll go ahead and copy and paste it in here. After that, you can select your default currency, and then if you want to add currencies that the user can convert into, you can just go ahead and select any of these to make them active, and then hit Save, and your currency converter will be good to go. Okay, that's all for this time, but please join us next time when we'll talk about how to put the final finishing touches on the initial configuration for your IATA website. As always, thanks for watching.